fun getting to come back to Arizona and play in, the biggest college football game here in the state.
Yeah, I mean, it's special to go back into the state where it started for me, obviously where I grew up and everything, but to be able to go to the biggest bowl game in Iowa State history is special. And then obviously to, be able to play in front of, my family and, friends and stuff from back home is going to be really sweet. And I'm going to show my appreciation for all the people that, have been there for me growing up in high school and everything. And for me, it's going to be really special.
Our next question will be from Travis Heinz of the Ames Tribune. Go ahead, Travis.
Hey, Brock, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. I know you've got a history with Tyler from your guys' high school days. I was curious, just looking back at some of the newspaper clippings, it sounded like you guys played some pretty crazy games. I was curious what your recollections of that 63-60 playoff game were.
Yeah. I mean, it was really obviously just an offensive shootout, and Tyler was doing his thing, and I remember just going out and really whoever had the ball last was going to win, and but understanding that he's a great competitor. They had a really good team, and every time we played them, really you just always knew both offenses were going to do really good and score a lot. So it was fun competing against them. We played on the same club baseball team in 8th grade. And then obviously competed throughout high school. So I know Tyler well, and, we've always competed against one another, and it's been really fun.
You caught a touchdown pass in that game too?
Yeah, I did.
Walk me through that play.
Yeah, so I think I motioned in a receiver, handed him the ball off, and then I just took off on the outside, and he threw it up, and I caught it in the back of the end zone, so it was sweet. But I remember there was a lot of stuff that happened, we played them and whatnot, and then scoring – and overtime to win it and stuff was crazy. So that was a fun game.
What is the feeling of scoring an overtime touchdown to win 63-60 in a playoff game, no less?
Yeah, I remember for us, it was really the furthest we've ever been in the playoffs for our high school. So when we did do that, I just remember celebrating with my team, and I don't know, just that feeling of, oh my gosh, all that work and everything is paid off, and to be able to come up like this was sweet. And I just remember celebrating with my team and, going as far as we could in the playoffs in school history. So it was cool.
Thanks, Brock.
Yep.
Our next question will be from Mark McClune of CBS 5 in Arizona. Mark, unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hey, guys. Thanks for doing this today. Brock, good to see you. Hey, we saw Ryan Finley last night on Monday Night Football. We saw you and Rattler go head-to-head in the Big 12 Championship. We saw Tyler and Keaton Slovis go head-to-head in the Pac-12 Championship. To what would you attribute this explosion of Arizona quarterbacks on the national scene? And for those who, can go back a decade, I mean, this seems pretty unlikely. How unlikely do you feel like this was 10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Brett Hundley and, some other guys, Joe Germain back in the day. But I think recently, just the spark that Arizona's got with the quarterbacks has been pretty unique, and it's special. I know there's a lot of great quarterback coaches in the Valley and and across the state. So you see a lot of kids, starting to develop at an early age of wanting to be a quarterback and throw the ball around. And and I think there's a really great sense of competitiveness as well. Within the quarterback family in Arizona. Everyone's always competing and getting better, and to go out and on Friday nights and kill it and then get offers, and now we're on that, like you said, that spotlight or the stage of being able to play on Monday Night Football and conference championships. So I think a lot of the nations is finally seeing that, and so I know there's gonna continue to be a great line of quarterbacks to come as well. There's a lot of great recruits right now in the state of Arizona, and it's only going to get better. So it's going to be sweet.
Hey, and just to go back to that run against Hamilton in the playoffs, what was that, your junior year? What did that moment do for you to get you to where you are now?
Yeah, I feel like really just, my confidence level as far as saying to myself, all right, I could do this. I could play, against the best of the best. Hamilton at the time, had, all the history of state championships and everything. And to be able to do that, for me, I was like, all right, yeah, I can go up against anybody and compete against the best. And, I knew, I was going to go get my dream and do whatever it takes from that point on. And, so here we are, and I'm thankful for it.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Once again, a reminder, if you have a question for Brock Purdy, please use the raise hand button in the participants panel. Our next question will be from Jose Romero from Arizona Central. Go ahead, Jose.
Hey, Brock. Good morning.
Good morning.
How have you grown as a quarterback just over your 3 years there? And I mean, you've been playing regularly, and how big of, how much has that just helped you grow as a quarterback, just being put in there right away and able to play so much?
Yeah, I think one of the first things I learned, I played in my Oklahoma State game, the game where I, really came out and started doing my thing. But from that point on, defense is starting to scheme me up. My talent was out there, so they understood, what they have to do to stop me. So there was a lot of things I've learned along the way, as far as, trying to improve my game, understanding that people are going to try to do things, against your skill set. And, a lot of expectations and pressures come from that. I've learned how to deal with those kind of things. I've learned, different ways to lead on the team. I feel like I've really been in every kind of situation so far. My 3 years here, as far as, winning a big game, losing a big game, how to deal with adversity and stuff. And, really the team's always looking at the quarterback. And so for me, I'm able to, look back and say, hey, this worked, this didn't work. How can I continue to get better? So I feel like those are just things that I've continued to, grow on and improve on. And so I still have a lot to learn. I still have, a long ways to go. And I'm going to continue to do whatever it takes to be the best version that I can be.
Thank you.
Our next question will be from Randy Peterson, the Des Moines Register. Go ahead, Randy.
Morning, Brock. Tell me about the Purdy Hall Rose abode. Tell me something about it. Tell me about it.
I mean, really, I know Bres and I are really the ones who try to keep everything clean. Mike, is a guy who's laid back, and he's clean and everything. But I mean, he, will tell us to do whatever, take out the trash, or I'll do it later, that kind of thing. So, but we all like to chill. We like to hang out with one another. And really after games and stuff, it's us three who were talking about what happened, what we got to do from here on out. So that's pretty sweet. Real with each other. And if someone does good, if someone does bad in our apartment, we keep it real and we tell one another what we're seeing. And so Mike and I really do help each other out as far as the leadership goes. Bres as well. We're trying to help out Bres more and more as he develops as a leader on the team, and he's doing a great job with it. So it's pretty sweet. Our apartment is fun overall.
Tell me something about Bres nobody knows.
Man, Bres, I mean, he likes R&B music. He blasts it till like 10 at night, and I always have to tell him to turn it down. But I don't know, man. He's an outgoing kind of guy, but at the same time, he's like he's a private guy. Like, he likes to keep things to himself, and I don't know. He's mentally, I don't know. He's different in a good way, but I think that's what separates him from everyone else.
What about Rose? Tell me about something different in him. And you've been living with him longer, I think, but tell me something about him that nobody knows.
Yeah, Mike, to be honest, I don't know, man. He's a laid back kind of guy. He's from Ohio, but everyone thinks he's like a California surfer, just the way he like talks, and he's like a laid back kind of guy. So he's I don't know. He's just a chill kind of guy. He doesn't really care about what anyone thinks. And he's a big Cleveland Browns fan, and I don't know. That's really all I know about him so far.
Just one more thing. With the three of the team stars in one, it's an apartment, I assume. It's a big apartment, I assume. Is that dangerous with the crud? The contact tracing or whatever you think?
To be honest, we do a good job of, making sure everything's safe and whatnot. But yeah, with everyone on the football team really understands where we live and stuff like that. But everyone doesn't mess around with us or anything. We stay to ourselves, especially during the season and stuff. We've done a good job with that. So it hasn't been a problem.
All right. Thank you. And good luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Our next question comes from Travis Heinz of the Ames Tribune. Go ahead, Travis.
Hey, Brock, to go back to those games with Hamilton and against Tyler, what's it like for you as a quarterback that's never going to share the field with Tyler, but you know that you're, in a shootout to, like you said, the team with last is going to team who has the ball last is probably going to win, where you got to keep pace with that other offense?
Yeah, for me, it's hard, with all the scoring and stuff, and, it's easy to get caught up in, all right, I have to be perfect here. I have to do this, and that. But I do remember in that game, my junior year, I was like, all right, I'm just going to go out, focus on, what I have to do right here on this drive, not anything else. And so I think mentally I was able to grow in that, area. And, anytime I played him after that, like my senior year, it was the same thing. I was locked in on what I had to do. And then at the end of the game, I was able to see, like how he played, how I played. But, I really do respect his game. And, going into those kind of games, I just had to focus on my job rather than anything else outside of that. So.
All right, thanks, man.
Yep.
Our next question will be from Jordan Ham of Sports 360 Arizona. Jordan, unmute yourself and go ahead.
Yeah, Brock, I just wanted to go back to your recruitment. Yours is one of the most unique I've seen. You announced the Iowa State offer on January 11th, well after the season. And that's where, kind of the bulk of your offers came. Just going through that experience, having to be patient. How did that shape you as a quarterback and as a leader for Iowa State?
Yeah, really just like you said, the patience that I had to have during that time was really everything. The first thing I knew, I believed in myself and my game. I knew wherever I was going to go, I was going to give it my all, and I deserved to be there. I've always believed in my game and who I am as a person, the competitive nature that I've always had. I believe that wherever I land, I'm going to go show everybody what I'm about. And so when I got my chances with the offers that I had, I saw the best opportunity for me at Iowa State, as far as what I wanted to do in college with Coach Campbell and the program. And so I think having that patience, right now at Iowa State, it always hasn't been easy here. The past 3 years, we've been through a lot so far. But I think the patience is paying off, and, it's going to explode here soon as far as the success that we see. I know that. I believe in that. And I feel like during the recruitment area for me, like I learned that. And so I'm still holding on to that value and that virtue of being patient, all while, still having that belief in myself and confidence that I can do this. So
for those in the 2021 class who have had an unprecedented recruitment cycle and offseason and, can't go to camps, can't go on campuses, a lot of opportunities taken away from them, what advice would you give them navigating this process?
Yeah, I've talked to multiple people about that. And this is the same thing as far as what I went through. You got to have patience. You got to believe in yourself. But at the same time, you got to do what it takes to get yourself out there and to get yourself known, especially during this kind of time. It's not easy. I understand that. But if you believe in yourself and you understand that you can compete against anybody, I think that can go a far way. And it may not be an offer. It may be walking on. It may be going JUCO. But if you believe in yourself at the end of the day, you can get it done. And so that would be my advice.
Thanks, Brock.
Yep.
Our next question will come from Mark McClellan. Mark, unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hey, Brock, just it looked like Dan Minucci had put up a shot of the two of you guys, Tyler and you, training together. I don't know if it was last summer back here in the Valley, but what have the conversations been like when you've been training together? And did you guys dream this up at all, the Fiesta Bowl matchup?
Yeah, so obviously whenever we're home in the summer and things like that, we train together with Coach Minucci. But, I don't know if we really talked about ever playing against each other or anything like that. We always knew it was going to be a possibility with bowl games and whatnot. But, whenever we're out there training together, we're trying to give each other tips and advice. And we really do both hope the best for each other, we do compete when we're on the same field. But at the end of the day, we want the best for one another. And, we text each other. I texted him, after his first game, he did really good. And, we've been in touch and whatnot. But, as far as us being friends and everything, yeah, like we are. We do hope for the best for one another. But when we step on the field, it's a game where you have to compete. And I think both of us understand that. We do a great job with that. So that's really, what Tyler and I are about.
And then, is there a specific memory watching a game inside that stadium that jumps out?
For which stadium? I'm sorry.
Oh, at State Farm Stadium, watching a game, either a Cardinal game or a Fiesta Bowl. Were you at a game, or just any specific memories of games in that stadium?
And I would probably say just the Oregon-Kansas State game. I remember D'Anthony Thomas running kickoff back and everything like that. And I wasn't really a kid. I was, I think, junior high or high school. But seeing that, I was like, man, I want to play on that kind of, level or in that kind of game. That'd be pretty sweet, in Arizona at home, whatever team I'm playing for, it'd be pretty sweet to be able to have that kind of excitement on that stage and level. And so I think that's a game that I remember, and, so here we are. So it's pretty sweet.
Appreciate it.
Our next question will come from James Kreppy. Sorry if I mispronounced that, from the Oregonian. James, unmute yourself and go ahead.
Brock, just to go back to your recruitment as somebody a little bit less versed in it, can you take me through just kind of the aspect of seeing your peers, seeing Tyler, seeing other guys in the state maybe get recruited at the time and get offers at the time, and you were still waiting on it? I imagine as friendly as you guys are, that there must have been a little bit of a rivalry aspect of things if he's getting the Elite 11 or an Oregon offer or wherever else.
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, there was other quarterbacks as well, not just Tyler, who were, getting these offers and the exposure and everything. And for me, I stepped on the field and I just competed every single Friday. And, when I was, having the success that I was having, I still knew and believed that, hey, I could do this. I can go the places that they're going to and do the things that they're about to do as well. So, yeah, there's always that competitive nature as well, like I said before, where, I step on the same field as Tyler or any other quarterback going D1. And when I was competing with them and, winning games and stuff, I was like, hey, I could do the same thing as well. But, again, like I said earlier, there was no kind of, jealousy or anything like that. I hope the best for Tyler, and I was really happy for him and stuff during that time. But, I'm really thankful for just the way everything turned out. So.
Not sure how much game, I'm sure pretty early game planning and stuff, but what have you seen in any kind of film you've watched so far of Oregon's defense, just your initial impressions of that group?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you see the speed, you see the athleticism, and I feel like up front they have a really good D lineman, and they're a team that goes hard. They run the ball anywhere on the field. And so, it's going to come down to 4 quarters playing, our game and being disciplined and, not turning the ball over. If we could do those kind of things, I think we'll be in this game and have a really good chance.
Last thing for me was just by chance, do you happen to know Johnny Johnson much? I know he was another Arizona guy. Just didn't know if you happen to have any cross paths with him. I know he's a couple of years older than you.
Yeah, I think I was a sophomore and he might have been a senior, or maybe the other way around. It might have been a junior and he was a senior. But yeah, I played against him a couple of times, and he tore up my defense, I remember, and he was really unstoppable in high school. I remember that. But yeah, another Arizona guy. I'm really happy for him and all of his success in college, and I know he's going to do big things, post college as well. So I'm really happy for him.
Thank you.
Yep.
Our next question comes from Randy Peterson of the Des Moines Register. Go ahead, Randy.
Brock, one last thing about your living arrangements. Does anybody cook, or do you guys just get all your meals from the complex?
Yeah. Well, when we first came back for the whole quarantine deal, I was the one cooking all the time, like making tacos and macaroni and stuff like that. I was doing the best I could, but, Bres and Mike always made fun of me. But anytime I made the food, then they looked at it, they're like, hey, can I have some? And, that's where I got my respect as far as a cook. But other than that, we get our food from the facility. So
They ate it anyway. Okay.
yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, and that's all we have for you today, Brock. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.
All right, everybody, just give me 1 second. I'm going to get Bres Hall set up for you guys.
All right, and as Mike gets us set up for Bres Hall, a reminder from the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl to please apply for your media credentials. The deadline for media credential applications is December 23rd. And you will need to, and even if you're covering the game remotely, you will need to be credentialed for access to the press conferences on the 29th and 30th, the head coach's press conference on January 1st, and the post-game press conferences on January 2nd. Thank you. And on that note, we are now joined by Iowa State running back Bres Hall. Bres, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
And once again, if you have a question for Bres Hall, please use the raise hand button in the participants panel. All right, Bres, our first question for you will be from Mark McClune. Mark, go ahead.
Hey, Bres. Thanks
What's
for the time today. Hey, we've been having a lot of fun with Brock, just talking about coming home, and just as close as you are to him, can you just give us a sense of what this means to him to come back to Arizona?
Yeah, just me and him were talking about it the other day, but I just knew he was happy. You know, he said he's going to have a lot of family there. You know, he said most of his high school, most of his family, friends, and everything like that, they're going to be there for him, supporting him. So I think he was really excited about that. And that's just him being young. He's only 20, so just him being he's only 20, so just him being so young, for any kid to really go back home, you know, you're going to be excited to play in front of your family and friends and know people, you know, from high school and stuff like that.
And can you kind of take us inside the 2 years relationship, how it started? First time y'all met, what'd you think of kids who played football in Arizona? What'd you think of Arizona when you met him?
So the first time I talked to him, it's a funny story actually. I was a junior. It was my junior year of high school, and I was up at Iowa State on a visit. And so I was watching all the quarterbacks throw, everybody practice and everything in the indoor. And then Brock came to talk to me, but I didn't really know who he was yet because he was just a freshman. Like the season hadn't started. It was a summer and everything. And I remember he came up to me. He was talking to me and everything. And one of the coaches, they were going to give us a tour around campus, and they were asking us if we wanted to drive the golf carts around campus, and they were going to let us drive. And so I remember just like in the middle of Brock talking to me, one of my coaches said that, and I just walked away from him. And then when I got on campus, he reminded me about it. We just had a laugh about it. So, but the first time we talked, yeah, he was really cool. He was really nice, and I didn't really know much about Arizona, but just watching him throw the football and watching how he was, like I could tell he was a dude.
Thanks, man.
Our next question will be from Randy Peterson, the Des Moines Register. Go ahead, Randy.
Bres, I asked Brock some of the same stuff here, but take me inside your apartment. The apartment of what? You and Rose and Purdy. Take me inside it. What's a day in the life like inside there?
You know, we're all three pretty chilled and laid back outside of football. So usually we're just in our rooms chilling. We have a projector in our living room. So here and there we come out and we probably watch a couple hours of film just on the team we're playing or other teams, and we're just really chill. We like to chop it up, and we don't do too much outside of football though. So like when we're in the house, we're not doing too much. We might play some games or just talk and chill. So I wouldn't even say we're that interesting. You know, we just like to chill and lay back.
Tell me something about Brock that nobody knows.
He can play the piano really good.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys have a piano? No.
He has one in his room, and so one day I walked up to his room, and he was playing a song by Alicia Keys. I remember, and it was like perfectly on key and everything like that. And I walked in and saw him playing it, and then he started messing around and playing a couple other songs, and that's when I realized he was really good because he practices a lot.
One last thing. He said you don't like his tacos. Is that good? Is that right?
They're good, but I mean, like you said, he tries his best. So like, if they're there, I'll eat them. But like the tacos, they're not bad. But the macaroni, I'm like, nah, I'm good, dog.
All right, I'm good. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, a reminder, if you have a question for Bres Hall, please use the raise hand button in the participants panel. And our next question will be from Travis Heinz of the Ames Tribune. Go ahead, Travis.
Hey, Bres, has Brock told you much about his high school games against Oregon's quarterback, Tyler Shaw?
Not so much about Tyler or against Tyler, but he just about like his high school games, like the atmosphere and how like he was on overtime and how he really he wasn't known. And then his senior year, he was really beating all the popular kids and all the kids that had a lot of notoriety and stuff like that. And that's how he really got his name out there. And so we watched like videos and stuff of his old football games, and they looked pretty fun.
I mean, it sounds like those were important games for him. I mean, that he's talking about how it was able to get him on a bigger platform.
Yeah, just him talking about he had kind of a little ragtag team, and they were beating teams with a whole bunch of D1 kids and stuff like that. So, I mean, just watching his stuff on YouTube, it looked like the people, they would pack the stadium. So it looked really fun.
How deservedly proud is he of himself from going from that to where he is now as, one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12 and known nationally?
I'm sure he's proud of himself, but he doesn't really dwell on it because he knows like he can get to the next level and he can get better. So really, like, I mean, whatever comes to him, he takes it and he really just moves it to the side because he still wants to get better. He has room to grow.
Thanks, Bres.
Our next question will be from Stephen McDaniel of the Iowa State Daily. Go ahead, Stephen.
How's it going, Bres? I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on just being able to play in one of the more prestigious bowls in college football.
Playing the Fiesta Bowl, the first thing that comes up, everybody's talking about, PS5, and everything like that. And really just to be playing in one of those popular bowl games and to be playing against a really good team like Oregon, it's something you dream of as a kid, just seeing one of those big name schools and just that bowl game atmosphere. It's different this year because we're not getting the whole bowl week, but just to be going there to play, going to Arizona and playing in the game is going to be really fun.
All right, thank you.
Our next question will be from Michael Swain of Cyclone Alert and 247 Sports. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey, Bruce, just want to ask you about someone else on the offense. What's it like being a teammate with Xavier? Seems like when he's on the football field, kind of an intense player, but what's he like off the field?
Xavier, that's one of my best friends, and he, just off the field, he doesn't like to do too much either. He's real chill and laid back, and me and him, we probably go out to eat. Me, him, and Hunter Deckers, we probably go out to eat probably 2 or 3 times a week and just chop it up, just talk about life and everything like that. But outside of football, he's real cool. He doesn't do too much outside of football. He really just likes to hang out and be around the guys. He doesn't. I mean, he's just like me. He doesn't do anything too crazy. So just his intensity on the football field, I think off the field he saves it so much for on the field that have the energy to do anything. So just having him on the team, it just brings that X factor. He's gonna come to play every Saturday.
And something Coach Manning said was that it didn't take long for him to adapt or get used to playing at Iowa State. I guess, how have you seen him adapt and just get along with the rest of the team?
Yeah, just from when he first got here, I feel like any guy that transfers or is coming into a new atmosphere, new school, they're going to be kind of timid and they're going to be kind of quiet, just because they don't really know anybody that well. And, just to see how he's grown and how the team just grew around him and how everybody accepts him, it's been real fun. And he's just become one of the main keys to our team. And he's one of those guys who really brings a lot of energy and a lot of hype, and he gets everybody going. So it's been real fun.
Thank you.
Our next question will be from James Kreppe of the Oregonian. James, unmute yourself and go ahead.
Bruce, just wanted to see what early impressions you have of the Oregon defense. They've played really well against the run the last couple of games. Also had some games where they really struggled against the run, against Oregon State in particular and Jamar Jefferson. So just what are your initial impressions of the Oregon defense?
Like Brock said, they're big, they're fast, they're athletic, and like you really can't take any plays off. You got to be you got to just stay true to our technique every play. And they got a really good D line. Number 5, he's probably the best D lineman in the country. So just seeing him on the field, he gets your attention. So I mean, just going against those guys, you got to really prepare for their speed and everything they do on defense, and just be ready to play your best game.
Anybody else who sticks out? Clearly, you watch a little bit of film, if you know Kayvon. So whether it's the linebacker, or 97, or 3 or 99, the D tackles, anybody else who stands out to you when you watch film?
I feel like most of their defense stands out. They all do their jobs pretty well. I feel like they all do their 111th pretty well, and they all do a good job of just doing their job. So I feel like you can't really not take any of them serious. You know, you got to be on your stuff at all times.
Thank you.
Our next question will be from Jared Stansberry of Cyclone Fanatic. Go ahead, Jared.
Hey, Bres. I know that you are a guy who likes to or like to study, you know, a lot of running backs and stuff like that when you were or growing up, still like to. But Oregon obviously had some pretty good ones as you were coming up. Are there any of those guys that you maybe watched closely back in the day?
I really liked Michael James, and then, you know, I watched Royce Freeman, you know, LeGarrette Blount, just a lot of those guys growing up, and just really just, you know, you play NCAA 14, and the best team on there is Oregon. So, you know, just watching those guys growing up, watching the highlights, and then you see guys like, not even running backs, just guys like D'Anthony Thomas and everything like that. You know, you just want to make moves like those guys. You watch them, you watch their highlights, you want to go outside and replicate their moves and stuff like that. So just growing up, just watching them was really cool.
All right, and that looks like that's all we have for you, Bres. Thanks for your time today.
No problem.
All right, thanks for joining us today, everybody.
Thank you, Bruce.